Thanks for clicking on the video. Bar is open, so let's review the scent Remy VSOP brandy. Hi there, SG Alcohol Guy here, giving you honest reviews on the alcohols that I am tasting. And today, as mentioned, I'll be reviewing the scent Remy VSOP brandy. And before I go into that, let's understand two things. Number one, what is a brandy? A brandy is a distilled spirit made from fermented fruit juice. Now, these fruits can be anything, apples, grapes, various types of fruits that can be fermented into alcohol. And then we have the term VSOP. VSOP stands for Very Special Old Pale. And what it means is that specifically it has to be aged for at least 4 years, usually up to just under 6 years. And now we have that out of the way, let's come back to the scent Remy. And how I'm going to drink this VSOP brandy is going to be very similar to whiskey, meaning I will first have it neat. Then I will have a couple of drops of water into the one that I poured neat. Then it is recommended to have brandy with 2 cubes of ice. So I'll be having that, followed by a very Singaporean way of drinking brandy, and that is with warm water. And before I start, this bottle is retailing at 49 Singapore dollars. For that, you will get a 700 ml bottle, a 70 cl bottle, that comes with 37.6% alcohol content. So seeing they use the term vineyards, this particular brandy is made from grapes. Beginning the review, we will be looking at, as I mentioned, neat first. And as per all whiskeys, I'll be reviewing how this brandy looks, smells, and tastes. Just a small amount, as per my usual reviews. This brandy, it does have a pale color, but then again, I have seen whiskeys that look more pale than this. So this is actually a very nice amberish color. However, it does lighten up a little bit at the edges, so it doesn't feel like it's a very strong alcohol. Also, as I swirl this brandy in this tulip glass, what I like to see is how long it takes to travel down the sides of the glass, and it disappeared within 5 seconds. I saw the way it ran down the sides that quickly. That also means that you're not going to expect any finish from this brandy. It's just going to go to the back of your throat and disappear. Scent-wise, it comes across as pretty light, but it does smell really sweet compared to whiskeys. So for me, I think I have an impression now that the brandy does come across sweeter than a whiskey, but in this particular brand, this particular scent Remy, I'm not expecting a finish, so I can only guess at the taste. But rather than guessing at the taste, let's do a taste test neat. And as expected, it's a very light spirit. The alcohol burn is still there. Don't get me wrong, don't think it's going to go smooth down like water. No. You can feel that 37.6% alcohol. You can feel the burn all the way down. The part that is light would be the flavor. It enters the mouth really, really lightly. There's a hint of fruitiness on my tongue, which lingers a bit, but there's nothing going on at the back of my tongue. There's nothing going on way beyond that. Nothing at all. Hint of fruitiness in the middle of my tongue, but otherwise it's just blandness all the way. There's no taste beyond that fruitiness. Let's see if we can elevate it with some water. And swirling it a little bit, scent-wise, the alcohol scent has been reduced. There is now a little bit of an oaky note that has been missing all the way. There's some oakiness that appears now. But other than that, it still comes across as a very light alcohol. But let's do taste tests too. With a little bit of water, it's elevated. And it's very interesting because I now taste some plums in the flavor. It's not sour per se, like sour plums. No, it's a little bit of a sweet plum flavor. There's that oakiness, there's that wooden oakiness aftertaste at the back now. It's still light on the tip of my tongue. That's very interesting. There's barely anything at the tip of my tongue. But the back has that dry oakiness that I get from, you know, casked wines, or wines that have been casked in barrels. This has that same feel. Plus that lingering plum, sweet plum taste on my tongue. That's very interesting. The taste has changed completely. But now let's get 2 cubes of ice and see what's what. And since the ice will melt, I'm just going to pour the balance from what we had earlier into this glass with a couple of ice cubes. I'm going to let it chill for a bit while I top up a little bit more brandy in this tulip glass to prepare for the warm water. With it now sufficiently chilled, I'm just going to get the ice to melt a little bit. And scent-wise, I can't smell anything. It smells a little bit fruity, very little bit, because you know I know that it's made of grapes, but after you chill it, you can't really smell anything. So let's just proceed with the taste test. The oakiness disappeared. So whatever we had with water, that dry oakiness disappeared. The plum taste got reduced as well, but it tastes a bit more like grapes now. So it's very interesting again where the flavor has adjusted a little bit more, but it seems to have less layers than when I added some water to it. So probably drinking it with ice isn't the best option. So now I'm going to drink it with some warm water. Now usually for brandies and in certain cases cognacs as well, you don't have to add warm water. What you do is you do hold the glass this way. Now this allows the warmth from your hand to heat up the brandy, heat up the cognac, and then you savor the change in texture. But that being said, here in Singapore, you know, if you visit certain establishments, usually places like karaoke lounges with hostesses who will accompany you while you have some drinks. Not that I've ever been to those places because, you know, they do tend to be less than savory. I definitely do not go to such places with hostesses. In those places, we will order, in those places, you will order, so I've heard, brandy, and they will provide warm water, so I have heard. And as such, I will be adding a little bit of warm water to the brandy that I poured out, as per what I've heard, you know, from people who do visit such places, and to see how that affects the flavor. I'm using 45 degrees Celsius water, and just to swirl it a little bit and check the scent. Smells absolutely no different from just adding a couple of drops of normal water, except now a little bit of warm air is coming into my nose. But let's see how the taste test goes. It has become a cocktail. It has become an extremely sweet drink. Having that bit of heat somehow enhanced this brandy so much. It doesn't feel light. It doesn't feel bland. There's still no long finish. It's not magic, but the taste now, you know, it enters my mouth from the tip of my tongue all the way to the back of my throat. There's just a certain sweetness all around. That's amazing because, you know, obviously I don't pay attention to the drinks when I'm at such places, as what most people who visit such places tell me. It's really fascinating that adding some warm water to this elevated it so much it became just like a cocktail, a very nice, sweet, smooth cocktail. So for this St. Remy VSOP brandy, to have it neat with a bit of water, ice, or with warm water, I highly recommend warm water. This made it amazing. Hey there, thanks for watching up to this point. I just want to state that all these reviews are based on my personal tastes, preferences, and opinions, not to be used as an industry standard. I do, however, want to know what you think about VSOPs, if you've tried this St. Remy VSOP or any other VSOP. You know, drop me some comments, let me know what you think. If you've ever seen me in such establishments as well, do not mention that in the comments. I was never there. And if you're still here, do help me click on the like button, the subscribe button, and the notification bell, because I upload 2 new videos every week. Most importantly, my friend, happy drinking!